Thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights. Hey, the meditation is great, powerful, clear. The power is there to overcome our dependency on others. There is no doubt in your voice at all about the path of Enlightenism and the journey out of pain. I'm sure they feel that power all over the world. Wherever this broadcast is, there is Enlightenism. Wherever it is, Sister Carol, that's great. Thank you so much for those wonderful insights. Have a great day. Okay, folks, I'm Brother Malcolm. I want to welcome all of you to this broadcast, The Journey Out of Pain. It's about the Enlightenism philosophy. The Enlightenism philosophy is a paradigm shift in consciousness, the consciousness of dependency on others. Enlightenism is about a new way to think and live, a new freedom. There is a power in you that is greater than the power you have been using from others, where you have learned all of the things that others wanted you to know. And during this learning process, you forgot about yourself. Enlightenism is to remind you of the great power you were born with. This great power to overcome the conditions in your life. When we understand this, folks, when you really get to a point of understanding, then you can really feel something in you. It's a feeling, but it's always been there, that I am greater than I thought I was. I am not inadequate because I don't know physics. I don't know philosophy or psychology. I don't know algebra, geometry, calculus. But I am still a powerful person. Because what I know is that there is a power in me that is greater than all of the things I mentioned. See, there's a power in you that can create something far greater than mathematics, science. When we learn to tap into this power and trust ourselves, then hey, we know that I can do something. So you say to little boys and girls today, as they begin their day, I love you. I love you. You are very powerful. You have a powerful mind. You have a creative mind. You can excel in whatever you desire to excel in if you trust yourself, the power within you. And then talk about how to get this power. When we let go of generational dependency, then the mind opens up to something else that's not dependent on the past. See, the past is where all of the problems are. You try to figure out all of the stuff that other people did in the past that didn't work for them. Now, you can get freedom by assimilating into anything, and it creates the illusion of freedom. But it's not free. It's not freedom. It is an illusion of freedom that others want you to believe is freedom. But true freedom comes from within the consciousness within you. It's not something imaginary in you. It's real. And that's what Sister Carolyn and I talk about all the time. The realness of consciousness. The power of imagination and visualization to create a powerful mind. One that is dependent on the consciousness within you. That's where you get the direct knowledge of your power. The direct knowledge is going to come from inside of you in self-discovery. And that's what I talked about yesterday. Self-discovery. How do you discover something for the self? How do you get direct knowledge that you can test and understand for yourself? See, all this other knowledge that you heard is something that you heard about. You don't know anything about those people. You heard about it. You got an aversion or an interpretation from someone else about what somebody did. All of the great ones. But we don't know anything about the great ones. We don't know anything about Moses going up on a mountain and God giving him some commandments. All we know is somebody told us about it. All we know is it became something that was passed on from one generation to the next, and then it became real. And then we all accepted it, and we all recited it, and we all believed it. But that doesn't make it true for you. Because now you have to find out where this great power is existing within you today. And we're not talking about what we heard somebody say about yesterday, what happened thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years ago, or even 25 years ago. We're talking about now, what power do you have in this present moment? Where does your power come from? Where does it come from? You know, it's kind of like people have conversations, and then if you don't know something in the conversation, then you think that what you don't know is important, and therefore you're missing out on something. It reminds me of a book or documentary I saw of Dr. Martin Luther King and Harry Belafonte and some others were sitting in a room. So Dr. King and one of his colleagues from New York, they were having a philosophical discussion. And so they began to talk about Nietzsche, the German philosopher. And so Harry Belafonte was listening to it and didn't know what they were talking about. And then he says to one of the other people in the room, "Who is this Nietzsche guy? Who is he talking about?" Then it became something he became curious about. Now you want to know more about Nietzsche. You want to know more about something that you don't know. And then that drags you into learning more about someone else. So it wasn't going to help him with the civil rights movement at all. You know, Nietzsche had nothing to do with it. The man went insane, actually. But he did have something of value when he said, you must discover the original documents, not the ones that have been copied. You need to go back, trace everything back into time, and find the original documents and see what they said for yourself. Meaning, don't trust the copies. And when you discover something for yourself about who you are, then you discover that your race and color is an illusion that was made up by someone else years ago to define you. Enlightenism is a new way to think and live. It's a freedom to overcome not only the racism that people have been trying to overcome for years, but overcome your dependency on all of the other things. Things that you're too afraid to even speak loudly about. People get upset with me because I want to shed light on these subjects that we have all been taught. And they think somehow theology is something sacred. You know, it's just something fell out of the sky. This God inspired, God created it. No, it came from people in search of God. In search of a God they heard about. And then they began to believe they had found a God. When they found interpreters who were teaching them about the past. They weren't teaching them about the God in the present. So to all of the people that feel that they are imprisoned, they're enslaved, they're victims, they're powerless, and that all the people are preventing you from doing certain things in the society because of racism and all of these things, understand something. It's your mind telling you something about yourself and giving other things outside of you power that you don't know anything about. So you want to know about Plato and Aristotle, you know. And so someone told me the other day that someone told them that they really love Plato. Never heard anybody say that except some philosopher or something. Never heard anybody say that. And so she was telling, I think it was Sister Carol, talking to Sister Carol about Plato. Said she really loved Plato. I said, well, what does she love about Plato? She said, I don't know. She said she wants to read everything that she can read about it. And so then I said to Sister Carol, I said, well, you know, people get hung up on Plato's Republic and think that's Plato. Said, but there are so many other things about Plato that people don't pay much attention to. And I'm saying all of this to you today, not about philosophy. There are so many things that we ignore about ourselves. We ignore that we're powerful in this moment. But others have told us we need to go back into the past. And when you go back into the past, you find basically nothing but some hearsay information. I'm going to take a quick break and I shall return. Hold on.